Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is JGOD. In today's video, we're going to focus on how to prestige and whether or not you should prestige within Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And although this might be heavily opinion based, I'm actually going to throw out some facts for you so you know how long it should take to prestige on average. Based on that average, how long it would take you to reach Master Prestige and then also level 1000. So by the time the video is over, you should know who should be prestiging, what is prestiging, when to prestige, why people prestige, and then also how to prestige. And even though I don't think it'll be the case, if I do miss anything that you have questions about when it comes to prestiging, make sure you comment down below. And as a quick reminder, if at any point you do enjoy the video, please hit that like button. Let's see if we can get this video over 500 likes. Again, only if you do enjoy the content. If you're brand new to the channel, I typically cover Call of Duty content related to news, in-game updates, best class setups, subscriber breakdowns, as well as other tip and trick videos on how to improve at Call of Duty. If that's the type of content you typically like to watch and you do enjoy the video, at some point go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you can get those future notifications. So the first thing you're going to want to do is reach level 55, which is approximately 1.5 million experience. But once you've clicked on that multiplayer tab, you're going to see at the bottom of the screen there's going to be a little button for you to press to access the menu. Then you're going to have multiple tabs to choose from. You have medals, progress and unlocks, and leaderboards right at the bottom. And on the right, it displays all your different information. You're going to want to click on progress and unlocks. This is going to open up a separate window. So once you're in this separate window, you can see all the different levels that items are unlocked. Once you prestige, you will get a prestige token that you'll be able to use on whatever item you want. Keep in mind that halfway point on leveling is approximately level 40. You ideally want to choose items that are level 40 and above. Since I have already prestiged all the way to Prestige Master, I no longer have the tab to prestige anymore, but right at the bottom of the screen where it says Customize Prestige icon, that is where you'll be prompted to prestige. And once you do select that prestige button, you will be prompted with a little warning say that all your stuff will be reset to level 1. This does not count for your weapon. So if you leveled up your weapon all the way to max rank and you decide to prestige your character, your weapon will still have that same level. Same thing with the progression on your camos. So if you have like 57 headshots on one of your weapons, when you prestige and you level up to get that weapon again, it'll still have that same number of headshots. So I've already discussed a few of those talking points I wanted to cover. While covering the how to prestige element, I was actually able to cover what is prestiging as well as when you should prestige. So for the next element, we'll go ahead and talk about why people prestige. There's obviously pros and cons with it, but there's certain motivating factors that actually encourage people to prestige within Call of Duty. One of the main reasons people prestige is because they are a completionist. They want to be able to do all the challenges in the game, and they also want to reach that coveted level 1000. So in case you guys didn't know, the only way to get 100%er in the game is you have to prestige, because there is a specific category for people who have prestiged at least once. So if you do have that goal of being 100%er, you're going to have to prestige at least once, but it's not always a bad thing because you get tons of extra challenges, which will allow you to get that extra XP a lot faster. So if the 100%er is not your thing, that's okay. There's still plenty of other reasons to prestige. And one of the reasons I like to prestige is I can always use that as a benchmark. Every time I prestige, I'll kind of look over my stats, see what my KD is, what my score per minute is, what my win-loss is, and ideally I want to improve those with every prestige. And if you want to go that extra mile and get fresh stats basically from square one, there's actually an option in-game called Fresh Start, which does exactly what it sounds like. Literally is like you're playing the game for the first time. All the weapon camos gone, all the different experience you've earned, all the leveling, all the challenges, everything goes back to square one and is literally a fresh start. I've never actually done that in Call of Duty, but there's plenty of people who have. Some of the best benefits for that is if, let's say you played through the first time, you're kind of learning the game, maybe you barely had a 1 KD, but towards the end of the prestige, you started getting 2 KDs, 3 KDs, and you're way higher than your actual stats dictated. Well, you go ahead and fresh start, and although you'll have to regrind everything out again, you'll start back at level 1, so make sure you're very aware of what you're doing when you click on that fresh start button if that's the route you want to go. So pretty much everything I've covered so far has put an emphasis on that first prestige and how to prestige and all that type of stuff around prestiging that first time. But keep in mind that this game has 10 different prestiges, and it goes all the way up to level 1000. Once you've hit prestige 10, you'll reach level 56, you'll get the title of Master Prestige, then you'll grind all the way from level 56 all the way to level 1000. I know earlier I said that I'd throw out some facts, give you some data, so you can make a decision on whether or not you should prestige, whether or not you think you'll reach Master Prestige, and how long it will actually take to reach level 1000. But let's go ahead and first talk about what you get once you reach level 1000 and what you get for every 100 levels on your way from level 56 all the way to level 1000. Like I mentioned earlier, now that I've hit Master Prestige, I have a separate category called Customized Prestige Icons. And pretty much once you click on this particular section, you'll have access to more icons, and you'll automatically unlock these icons for every 100 levels starting at level 100. These icons are from previous Call of Duties. A lot of them you might recognize depending on how many of the titles you actually played. So although I don't think this is personally a big deal, at the end of the day, if you want to do something like this, something to grind towards, it's a nice little ad within the game. Now at this point in the video, I've kind of discussed pretty much everything I want to talk about except for my recommendation on whether or not you should prestige within Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So I know I already mentioned that there's approximately 1.5 million experience for every prestige. So the experience you would need to reach Master Prestige would be 10 times that at 14,500,000. And once you hit that milestone, the leveling changes up quite a bit from level 56 all the way to level 1000, because for every level between level 56 all the way to level 1000, it'll be 55,600 experience. Don't try to focus too heavily on the numbers. I know I'm throwing out a few different numbers, but the goal is to get to a point where I can tell you whether or not with certainty if you should prestige or not. So once we do the math to figure out that there's 945 levels from level 56 all the way to level 1000, we can actually do the math with that 55,600 experience per level. We end up with a number close to 52,500,000, or a much simpler number to understand, which is equivalent to 36 prestiges. And when you add that to the 10 prestiges that you've already done, plus the additional leveling from 1 to 55 once you hit that 10th prestige, you're talking about approximately 45 to 46 prestiges total. So now that we have an idea of how many prestiges there are total in the game, I went back and kind of looked at the math of how long it took me to reach Master Prestige, and for every prestige it took approximately 17 hours. I didn't play a ton of double XP weekends, and I didn't have a ton of double XP codes, and I also didn't play that much hardcore, which would have boosted my score per minute and allowed me to prestige that much faster. So now that I have my average hours per prestige, I can use that number and multiply it by the total of 46 prestiges, and I end up with the number of hours at 618, which converts to 26 days played. So now this is something that you're going to have to do on your own account. So what you're going to do is you're going to play the game, you're going to rank up, you're going to reach all the way to level 55, and then you're going to look at that play time. You might have 14 hours, you might have 10 hours if you played on double XP. You might have all these different variables that play into it. Maybe you have a really slow score per minute. So it might actually take you around 25 hours to reach that point where you can actually prestige. So now that you have your own personal number, you're going to go ahead and pull out a calculator, a real one on your phone, on your computer, whatever the case is. Go ahead and plug in that number, and then you're going to multiply it by 46 for the number of prestiges. You're going to reach level 1000, and then what you're going to do is whatever number that is, you divide it by 24, which is the number of hours in a day, and that'll tell you how many days of gameplay it'll actually take you to reach that level 1000. And once you have that information, it's pretty much going to tell you whether or not you should or shouldn't prestige. Because at the end of the day, if you just want to reach prestige 10, then you can kind of do the math and figure out how close you're going to be by the end of the game's life cycle somewhere in October. And that number will actually tell you how close you will be to level 1000, or if it's even possible for you to hit that number. If the number's too low and you're not going to make it to that milestone, but you definitely want to hit level 1000, you're going to have to up your play time or up your score per minute by playing hardcore. Or maybe when we have double XP weekends, you're just grinding the heck out of the game and putting in like 20 hours over the entire weekend. And if you're a more casual player that just doesn't play the game enough, or maybe you have a lower score per minute, you can evaluate that and figure out, hey, you know what, I'll probably be at Prestige 5 by the end of the game's life cycle. What I'd recommend doing is prestiging at least once so you get those other challenges and you have something to grind for, because you're obviously not going to hit that Prestige 10. So that's just more of a recommendation. Obviously, you kind of got to make the decision for yourself. A lot of times people don't know exactly what prestiging is, should they do it, how they should do it. I know personally it helps keep you motivated in the game the higher level you are, because you're trying to accomplish something. So I'd love to know down in the comment section below, what is your current level and where do you project yourself to be by the end of the game's life cycle? So I think I did a pretty good job on how to prestige and whether or not you should prestige within Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Also, if you've actually been watching the gameplay in the background, please excuse the fact that I was running around with the Titan. I was planning on making a video about how overpowered the Titan is and that it probably needs a nerf, but I decided to scrap the idea and obviously just used it in this video. Also, it'd be great to know your motivations for why you do or why you don't prestige. So go ahead and leave that down in the comment section below. Kind of see what you guys think about prestiging and whether or not it's worth it. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did, please remember to hit that like button. Let's see if we can get this video over 500 likes. And if you are brand new to the channel and haven't subscribed just yet, you should probably go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. If you stuck around to this point, you probably are enjoying the content. I do appreciate all the support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching. As always, have a great day.